Welcome back to Game Tiered, a series where I review a game and tier list it at the end, adding to the tier list as the series continues. Today's game, Skate 3, released by EA Black Box for the PS3 in 2010. Alright, before we begin, I should mention that I'm playing on RPCS3, a PS3 emulator, so as always, if there's any bugs or glitches, I'll be sure to make it clear when the game is busted or the emulator stopped doing its job. It's also worth noting that since the entire game's soundtrack is licensed music, you won't be hearing it outside of that one track I was able to play in the intro, if I was able to put one there at all. Alright, with that out of the way, we need to name our team and give ourselves a logo. I went with the Kiki as a logo and named us Thigh High Gang. Just a stupid name I've given me and my friends when referring to ourselves as a group. Alright, time to make me. Long blonde hair, I forgot to change the eye color to blue, I'll probably fix that later. There's no leather jacket, so I settled for a hoodie, and toyed around with glasses, but I decided against it. Moving on, we start off with a tutorial. Meeting Coach Frank. He teaches us how to perform certain moves like ollies, nollies, kickflips, and pop shove-its, using the left stick to perform these different moves. We then learn how to grind, just needing to do any trick and aim our body to land on a ledge or rail. And finally, we learn how to place and use teleportation markers. And we get to move on to our first mission, where we need to keep up with this other guy. Not too hard, and we owned it, completing strictly what is required of us. That'll be important later. And then we do a few photo ops. I'll get into all of this later. For now, we meet Shingo, our cameraman, and we need to stay within 150 feet of the other guy whose name we only learn after we followed him a 3/4 of a mile. Rita. I don't know who he is, but I think he handles the business side of our skateboard empire. Anyway, Shingo takes us to a skate park and I die to a dumpster. Respawning, I show him who's the dumpster. Alright, we also learn about the park editor where we can place a bunch of skater terrain, and we're told about an online function I'm unable to access. Coming back outside, there's an attack from the Dumpstarians, but it doesn't last long as Dumpstarians aren't exactly known for their numbers, and we have another photo op. We just need to do a trick off this ramp, but if I nollie, I get extra boards, which is this game's equivalent to XP. So I successfully do a nollie trick because I'm good at video games and killed it, which requires doing everything a mission sets out for you to do, and you get extra boards for it, which is this game's equivalent to XP. After another mission, we get enough boards to level up and unlock another skater, so I decided to add Luna to my party. Also, yes, everyone I add to my party will be my friends, and their channel links will be at the end as well as in the description. And we unlock more missions that we did with Acid. The first one I did was Billboard Photo. I say as if the game didn't force me to do this, I think. Damn it, I could have gotten a better paper tear if I had hit circle to see if there was an icon. Whatever, I got Luna in a pretty sick pose, and we got some more boards. Now that we're officially done the tutorial, I want to go over how this game works. It's an open world skating sandbox game, meaning how quickly you progress is 100% up to the player, which means I get to control the pacing. Which sucks for video pacing since I try to mimic a game's pacing for a video's pacing. But we'll see what happens. The next mission I did was an ad photo, unlocked when a new party member is added to your team. At first I tried to get a photo of Luna getting hit by a car because I thought that would be really funny, but I couldn't get a good shot. Then I tried some other spots but kept bailing or not hitting the tricks I wanted. Eventually I found this ramp, rail thing and was able to perform a pretty sick trick on it and got our ad photo, so that's pretty cool. The next mission I took was a death race. 4 people, get first or lose. Beat a certain time for killed it, and it took me a few tries because of the cars, but I owned it and got some boards. I then moved right on to probably my favorite mission type. Actually, no, my second favorite mission type. Hall of Meat. These missions require you to break certain bones in certain ways, You just gotta bail, and different buttons let you take on different poses. It's pretty fun. And now for my real favorite mission type. Team races. I initially went to one that requires 2 other teammates because I'm a moron, so I went to one that I could. Me and Luna versus Girl. And it's 2 guys. This took me more than a few tries. Some were my fault, some were Luna's fault, and others were our opponent's fault, but we eventually beat them and leveled up, unlocking a new skate park that I didn't bother customizing. I then decided to do a team film. It's pretty easy, just gotta do a trick and batter someone while you're at it, and the game will do its best to make it look like it's not what just happened while it plays in front of a jury. While Luna deals with her legal issues, I decided to do another death race in another district. Right, districts. This game takes place across 3 districts: the campus, Carvertown Quarry, and downtown. I guess I should talk more about the campus before we do other districts. The campus district is probably my favorite in the entire game, from just how many different points of interest there are. The drainaway, the skate park, the sidewalk going to the skate park, which is probably my favorite place to put a ramp at the end of to launch off of in the entire game. After doing a few more missions that aren't worth getting into, we got another teammate, so I decided to make Taggy. Again, all of these people will have the links to their channels in the description, and I did a few more ad photos that unlocked with them just to get some easy boards. And now that we have a team of 3, we can do this godforsaken death race. We're up against Deluxe. Jimmy Hopkins, is that you? This race was genuinely so dumb. I actually beat the kill time, but because my teammates were so far behind me, we still ended up losing, and it still took me like 20 resets before we finally won. And I was 4th with my teammates being 1st and 2nd, but at least we won, and more importantly, at least it's over. I did another race with Luna in, I think, the Carvertown Quarry against Hesh. And I absolutely hate this fucking guy with the Fisher cap. We smacked each other mid-air. Thankfully I respawned where I could continue without much trouble, and we won, but my god, that pissed me off, and I'm still not done with him, but that will come later. The Carvertown Quarry. I know it's technically the industrial zone, but this isn't a fucking Sonic game, so I'm calling it the Carvertown Quarry. This district is pretty fun, but there's maybe 3 spots that are actually worth doing tricks or breaking yourself on. It's fun for what it's worth. I then did a race in the downtown district where Coach Frank, the fucking saint, came down from the heavens like a pop-up from the side of the screen to give me the utmost indispensable of information of... I know it's here in my footage where I learned that I could push opponents, but I can't find the exact pop-up where Coach Frank told me that I could do that, so moving on. I went back to the core to do another death race. It was in the same drainway as another death race, but instead of going to the rooftops, we went through the entirety of the drainaway. And I passed with technically 1st place after nearly 15 minutes of trying. And then, can you guess the next mission? Say it with me, it's another death race! If you're wondering why I'm doing so many death races in a row, I just really like death races. Probably one of my favorite missions to do. But this fucking guy with the Fisher... Wait a minute, that's not a Fisher hat. Is that a fedora? The fucking actual low-tier unusual ass hat. Might as well get some fucking nuts and bolts on there while you're at it, dude. Good god, this guy's an asshole. I don't even think he really messed with me here, I'm just still mad about the quarry. I went back to the school district to do some team activities and did another pretty wicked trick with Luna and my most okayest tricks with Taggy. I went to do a horrible mission with the Lizard King. He makes me jump some gaps that aren't really gaps. It was pretty annoying. So annoying, in fact, that I decided to jump down a flight of stairs. And I got 50,000 points. My god. And for such a feat, I got some extra boards and flew off the entrance to the school Whee! And I got another clip in this area from another playthrough that I'll show here. Anyway, time for a competition after such a good bone-breaking sesh. It's 2 rounds. The first round, I gotta beat the highest score, and the second round, everyone is fighting for first. There were a lot of resets, but I won the first round with 7,201 points, and the second round I got third with 5,265 points, but I still won overall. Then I decided to do a few team competitions. The first was with Girl. They never knew what hit them. I'm actually surprised that beating a team 3-0 isn't considered killing it. Anyway, I did another team. What? Oh, I did another team comp against Cliché, and they actually beat us in the second round. Stupid bridges, but we still got them in the end. I then grinded a bulldozer and unlocked a new teammate, so I made Zavos. Link in the description, as always. And I got a pretty wicked photo with him. Not Luna wicked, but I think it's still pretty wicked. It's also here where things get messy, so fair warning, if things seem out of order from here on out, that's because it is. I had to move some topics around for video pacing, but the only usable clips are from earlier in the playthrough. Another mission type that exists is Own the Spot, where we need to perform a specific trick or get a certain score in a single trick in a specific area. I killed the one that I did. Another similar mission is Own the Lot, which requires a bunch of different tasks to be completed in a given area. Okay, at this point in the game, I've gone over almost every single mission type. There's some miscellaneous missions like following another character that would require me to make another 20 paper tears, which I want to avoid because making this video has taken long enough. So this last stretch is really just unlocking the final party member, so I spent a lot of time trying to get as many boards as I could in a single stream. It didn't go well. A lot of what I could easily do was only worth about 7,000 to 12,000 boards. Not great when you need 300,000. Granted, I did manage to get 40,000 boards with a perfect score in a competition, which is pretty sick. I then went on to do some team competitions and absolutely got destroyed because I couldn't figure out how to get up onto this rail. I just couldn't get enough air. But on the bright side, I did get this clip of Luna getting absolutely fucking launched. Also, during this stream, I went off about the new skate game. As I'm recording this, September 12th, 2025, it hasn't come out yet, but by the time the video releases, it will have. So all I'll say is that I'm super excited for it, and I'll let future for me, but past for you guys watching, Acid give his thoughts. Alright, so it is September 16th, 2025, and I have 3.2 hours of gameplay as of the time of this recording, according to Steam. I think the game is great. The gameplay is genuinely the best in the series, and the progression is alright. The game being free is a very big bonus as well, but it being only online is concerning and slightly infuriating, to say the least. And while I have my other complaints, I don't want to derail the video any more than I already have, so let's get back to Skate 3. Man, thanks for your thoughts, Acid. Anyway, I spent the next while just doing a bunch of Hall of Meat missions because they're easy enough and I couldn't be bothered to do anything else in the moment. Oh, I also finally remembered to change my eye color. There we go. I then spent maybe 90 minutes just grinding boards to unlock the final party member, finally pulling it off, unlocking Toast. Finally. 2 guys, 2 girls, and 1 perfectly balanced. Anyway, I spent some time getting more ad and billboard photos, and I finally hit someone with a car. So now that I have a full party, you might wonder what else we can do with them. Well, there is a mechanic called Call Skater, which lets us spawn an AI skater to skate with us. This is kind of cool. However, this would have been a perfect way to have implemented split screen. Just spawn in a skater and have player 2 press start and they can choose who they control from there. And what's even weirder is that you can only have any combination of 3 out of the 4 available party members spawned in, making it kind of perfect for 4-player co-op, but if we could have 5 party members all spawned in together, it would have been able to take advantage of the PS3 supporting up to 7 people. Yeah, look that one up. Granted, I have no idea if the 360 offered the same support on its console, but it doesn't matter since there's no split screen here to begin with. All that is to say is that I really don't like that this game is single player only if you can't connect to EA servers, especially when it at least seems very easily implementable. If this seems like an odd critique, I don't blame you, and to be fair, I've never applied this to any other game I've reviewed, but this is also the only game I've reviewed so far that has such a blatant opportunity to implement such a mechanic, but doesn't for seemingly no reason except the company wanting to force everyone to buy their own copy of the game if they want to play together. Granted, I'm sure there's some back-end issues that would make implementing split screen difficult, like maybe the camera system would need to be reworked from the ground up or something. But one, if you're gonna make an argument like that, then we agree that the game's development was most likely immediately flawed from the start. And two, who cares how difficult it is to implement? This is EA, a multi-billion-dollar corporation with God knows how... Hi, Beeps. Hi, I know. Sorry, I had to deal with my cat there for a second. But anyway, this is EA, a multi-billion-dollar corporation with God knows how many employees. A mechanic in a video game being tricky to implement shouldn't even be a crossed thought, let alone a reason for not doing something being taken seriously. This game is extremely fun, just skating around, doing random tricks, completing whatever missions you come across, and the Hall of Meat when you're bored is honestly kind of hilarious, but there's no real reason local multiplayer shouldn't be a thing, and it's genuinely bugged the hell out of me for 15 years. For all of this, I give Skate 3 an A tier. If Skate 3 is an S tier for you, I don't blame you, and it's still probably one of my favorite skating games ever. But with that being said, let me know in the comments or wherever what game you would like reviewed in the future. But yeah, take care everyone.